It's Thursday, October 27th.
From inside the WTOP newsroom, this is the DMV Download, brought to you by Steamfitters Local 602. Get an estimate and learn more at steamfitters-602.org.
Today, we get a sneak peek of a brand new art museum here in the district. It's owned by a couple from Miami with an extensive contemporary art collection.
If we could change one life, we've done an incredible thing. Because to us, art is total magic.
That's Don Rubel. He gave WTOP's Mike Murillo a private tour of his and his wife's museum in D.C. It sits in a renovated old schoolhouse from the turn of the 20th century.
It's a really neat backstory. According to the Rubels who opened this is where Marvin Gaye, remember name ring a bell? That's where he went to school. In one of those rooms, he was told he's going to do something with his life. And well, he did.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Cloherty.
And I'm Luke Garrett. There's a new name to add to an already crowded art museum list here in D.C. It's called the Rubel Museum, and it's opening up Saturday in Southwest, just a few blocks from Nats Park.
Our very own Mike Murillo got an exclusive look at the new art museum and joins us now. First of all, thanks for rushing back to tell us about it.
You got it. Got here. I broke some speed limits or whatever. I got here. That's all that counts, right? And you're paying the ticket.
Exactly, right. That's what we agreed upon. So first things first, where is this museum? And tell us about, I guess it's part of a school or something, or it's in a school?
Yeah, it's in Southwest D.C. It's at the location of the old Randall Junior High School, which is a longtime school in D.C. that was shuttered about a couple decades ago.
Okay.
It's a really neat backstory. According to the Rubels who opened this is where Marvin Gaye, remember name ring a bell? That's where he went to school.
Wow.
And they say
Incredible.
One of their favorite stories is that in one of those rooms, he was told he's going to do something with his life. And well, he did. So there's a cool backstory that's totally unrelated to the, but it isn't actually, because now they have this exhibit, this whole new museum that they set up there. It's going to focus on not only well-known artists, but also local artists and that sort of thing. So you're going to go in there and you're going to get hit with art from many different people you never heard of to people you've heard of.
And the exhibit's called What's Going On, a tip of the hat to Marvin Gaye himself. Kind of tell us about this art specifically. It's contemporary art. So is it going to be kind of more modern-y? What kind of art are we seeing for those of us who aren't in the art world?
From my brief trip through the museum, it's a mix. I mean, you're going to see, there are some were just big jugs that when you look inside, you get a surprise. I'm not going to give away what the surprises are, but look inside the jug
nice
when you see those. But, you'll also see things that go towards social justice causes and things we've seen over the last couple of years, issues pop up. You're going to see a lot of paintings and art and just sculptures that really go towards, what some of the narratives that we've seen expressed out there, especially when it comes to that topic.
Interesting. Mike, I know you got a tour today from the owners, the executive director was there, some of the artists. Tell us about this family, the Rubels. What's their backstory and how did we get here?
What a cool family. So you have the husband and wife, Don and Mara Rubel, and then their son was there as well, who's going to be taking over for them, as they decide to retire. They're not retiring yet, though, they say. So they have this great collection. They own the largest contemporary art collection in North America.
Wow.
They're,
Wow.
I don't know if there's an official title given, but from how many works they have, close to 8,000 works. I think actually even more than that. So if you think of that, they have a lot. And they have a Miami museum, and this is their version bringing it to D.C., and they're sharing some of their works here. And it's really cool because it's free for D.C. residents.
Wow.
So you can get in there for free if you're a D.C. resident, and this is them paying for it. It's not the government money,
right?
Like you see with the Smithsonian's paying for the admission. They're actually allowing you to come in for free, and they're hoping to inspire some folks.
I was listening to some of the sound you got with Don, and he was saying how that's really part of the mission is to bring art to everybody.
If we could change one life, we've done an incredible thing. Because to us, art is total magic. And I think anyone who's exposed to it, it's magic. And these works, because they're contemporary, are dealing with contemporary issues. So they'll look at it and they understand what it is. A lot of times they'll explain it to us.
Don, when you use the word magic is when a work of art can give you an insight into your own life.
And so they have one in Miami, but now they're opening one up here in D.C. Why D.C.? Why did they pick the nation's capital?
I think it's a mix because they're going to have some topics that, they might want people down the street to know or hear
in Congress.
Experience. Exactly. They have alluded to, you go out the door and back and you're at the Capitol. So,
right.
There are going to be some exhibits that really try to get the attention of everybody, including, lawmakers and that sort of thing. And plus, they said they just had that connection to D.C.
Coming to D.C. is a kind of a fantasy and a kind of a dream to be able to engage with the kind of topics and issues of our time. And the artists that we collect are we think really great voices for the condition of the world that we live in. So this is a real interesting an experiment, but a very challenging, fun adventure for us.
You know, they said a lot of things pointed them into the direction of D.C., in particular, this building in Southwest D.C., and here they are. They've set up shop, and they're going to be welcoming in the community, and you're going to see multiple exhibits. And right now, as you said, the Marvin Gaye
What's going
tribute.
on?
What's going on?
So we were talking about where this museum is, and it is walkable from the Nats Park.
Navy Yard,
thank you. But it's in a part of town that a lot of us haven't really been in before unless you were getting a car inspection, because it's sort of like an industrial area.
Not much anymore, though. I was actually having this discussion with someone else as I'm driving down in front of the Randall Junior High School, which is now the Rubel Museum.
Yeah.
But you're seeing a lot of construction, like
Really?
you're seeing at the wharf and elsewhere. So you're seeing some big buildings go up. You're seeing that community, obviously, probably because of the wharf and
Right.
Nats Park and
Yeah.
Right.
then Audi Field, and you're seeing all these places, start to build up there. So you are seeing some of that.
Is there parking, or is it easier to probably metro there?
Probably easier to metro.
Yeah.
I got some street parking, but depending on time of the day.
Right, and to your point, it's really right between the wharf and Navy Yard, which both locations have seen immense development. You just did a story on the wharf kind of phase 2 that the city's really encouraging people to visit this area. Can you tell us about this area and generally how much it's changed over the years?
Oh my gosh. Would
How
you
much
have an
time
hour?
do you have?
I
an
know,
hour?
right? No, but for some of us who haven't been here in a while,
Well, just the other week when I went to the wharf, a 1-mile stretch of the Southwest waterfront where you can do anything and everything. There's hotels, there's places to stay, you see Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen
Right.
coming in. You see him glaring down at you when you're walking down the sidewalk. You're seeing all this development down in this area where for many years you didn't have that, right? And Megan, you've lived here for your life. You both have lived here longer than I have. And it's not the same place that you remember from 20, 30 years ago.
It's not. I mean, and this is just my opinion in this. I shouldn't probably give it. But to me, like when the fisherman's market kind of went away, it lost a little bit of that sort of DC culture. It feels very brand new down there.
Yeah.
But for an area that didn't have a lot of growth, it's huge. And the arena stage is right there as well. So that was sort of like this one little island of culture for that part of the city. And now it's great. They have this museum down there. Mike, were there any like specific artists they spoke about as far as like major works that you could expect to see? Or is it more kind of you get a smattering?
I will say, for me personally, I'm definitely not a connoisseur of contemporary art. So
Right.
they were mostly new names to me. But some of these people are definitely more renowned in their fields. And you'll see several of them, one from Baltimore, one from New York, that they really kind of focused the area on. And actually, one of their stars that they had there was...
My name is Sylvia Snowden, and I'm a painter. I live in Washington, D.C., and I've been painting professionally since 1965. That's when I graduated from school. That's why I say professionally. But I paint every day, and I am prolific. And I'm known as the figure painter. I like the figure. I like people. I like doing human beings. I like knowing people. Not to pass judgment one way or the other, but just to know what they are about. And you see yourself in people. We're so much alike, but we come in different proportions.
She was kind of the star of the show. So I think they're trying to do that a bit, Not necessarily say you need to go there to see the Monet or you need to see these big names.
Right.
What about the local names? And I think that's where this couple is cool. I actually saw an interview real quick that they did earlier when they were talking about how they couldn't afford paintings when they started buying them. They were almost doing layaway plans, giving $5 a month to artists so they could buy these paintings. That's how they started.
Wow.
Early on, I don't know why, I don't know how, we realized this was going to be our mission in life. And since almost all our resources were always committed to it, we decided that no piece would ever be bought unless we would agree on it. Both of us had to agree, which is an almost impossible thing. Especially if you know us, it's even more impossible. And as our kids came of age, and they were equally interested, if not more interested, they were incorporated into it. And again, the same rules hold. No piece can ever be purchased unless all of us agree, making it approximately 8 times harder to agree. But somehow, 7,400 times we've agreed.
So I think they have this appreciation,
Yeah.
for local art and local artists and now putting it on display.
We're now going to give you the impossible task, Mike, of trying to describe one piece of art that you saw in this audio medium.
Very contemporary. I am, yeah. There's a
Impossible, I
surprise
said
for
it.
you in the basement. Go check it out.
Oh, that's the Jugs
Rubel
thing.
Museum.
Surprise in the basement.
Wait, I'm very interested to visit this, especially since it's free. It's just a new opportunity for people to kind of, introduce art into their lives.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'll say it's definitely an exhibit, at least that one in particular that you would like me to describe.
Right.
Very contemporary. It's about electronic age that we moved into.
Ooh.
And, check it out.
Makes you think.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
Mike, thank you for bringing it to us.
You got it.
And it's Halloween costume crunch time. Coming up after the break, Luke and I will tell you about our greatest costumes, just in case you need some last-minute ideas. Backed by the experience of its hardworking members, Steamfitters Local 602 is ready to take on your next commercial, heating, cooling, HVAC, or refrigeration project. Steamfitters Local 602 adds value to our community through its partnerships with local contractors and building owners, all while keeping the focus on improving the lives of its members and their families throughout the DMV. For work that's on time and on budget, go to steamfitters-602.org to schedule your next project. That's steamfitters-602.org. Steamfitters Local 602. Changing lives.
Explain your DNA on 10 cases, man.
You're inside the police interrogation room with the alleged Potomac River rapist.
I'm not guilty on any of this stuff.
So calm, so reasonable. Could this be the man who terrorized women for 9 years before murdering a brilliant scientist 2 decades ago? Experience one of the most fascinating true crime podcasts available. Join crime reporter Paul Wagner for Unknown Subject, Season 3 of WTOP's American Nightmare series. Search American Nightmare Podcast on all podcast platforms.
And before we go, Megan, what's the best Halloween costume you've ever had?
You're not prepared for it.
Wow.
You're
all
not-
right.
you're not
I mean,
prepared
that's a statement, I guess.
For
We'll see if it's true.
the excellence. Okay, I was in 5th grade, I think. Whatever. I was around that age, 10-ish. And this is actually the most Washington story. It's so funny. Okay, so I wanted to be a gumball machine.
Wow.
And I had this great idea. And my mom, who worked at a hospital at the time, got one of those giant clear trash bags. So
Okay.
we filled it with smaller color balloons.
Wow.
And I had 2 holes cut for my legs.
Yeah.
And we sort of tied it around my neck in a non,
You
choking
can
way.
still breathe. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was really cool. It was like walking around. It had 10 cents or whatever on it. I made it probably 4 houses before my leg holes had stretched out and the balloons were coming out of the leg holes.
Oh, no.
And so I was devastated,
Yes, obviously.
obviously. So I go back to my parents' house, which was also my house. So I go back to my house and my mom was like, what do I do? I have to come up with something right now that my kid can walk out the door with, right?
Yeah.
And so she gets so bad. It's so bad. She gets a poster board and a ribbon and basically staples the ribbon around the poster board, puts
Okay.
the poster around my neck.
I see it.
It's hanging from my neck, a poster board.
Yeah.
Gets Monopoly money, staples a bunch of Monopoly money all over the board, and then writes in Sharpie, the deficit.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. What a spark of inspiration, on a moment's notice.
I went outside and my brother just started laughing so hard he fell over. He's like, "You're the deficit." I was like, "I don't have anything else to be."
The literal scariest thing ever.
In the 90s, 100%.
Wow.
And everywhere I went, every adult was like, "This is the best costume I've seen the
You
entire
can take
day."
5 king-size bars, Megan.
I was like, I don't even really understand what I am,
Wow.
but it's working for me.
Dang, a 2-parter. Not bad.
Yeah, it was a pretty epic night.
That's pretty good.
What was your best costume?
Well, I was in college, and in college, I had really long hair.
Yes,
and a big
you look
beard.
like, yes.
Yeah.
You did
For
not
those
look
who
like
don't
the man
know,
you are now.
Yeah. I had long flowing hair, big beard. I was in San Diego, and the new Thor movie had just, come out.
Yes, I see where this is
And
going.
so I was a runner, I was just, I was a slim runner, surfer kind of guy.
Right.
So I got my Thor hammer, Thor cape, and I went as a prepubescent Thor. And I had a sign, and very self-deprecating, but it was a hit. Everyone loved it because it was an honest costume. I didn't have a muscle suit or anything like that.
Wait, you had a sign on you that said what it was?
Yeah, prepubescent Thor. Developing Thor, basically.
How do you feel about? I feel like if you have to put a sign that says what the costume is,
If you're explaining you're losing, that kind of
it may
deal.
not be.
Yeah.
And this is coming from the deficit, so I feel like
That's true. Both of ours are, I guess, strikeouts, but I thought they were pretty good. It was a hit at the time.
that's very funny. Actually.
Yeah, it was a hit at the time. Because I had the hair, had the beard, but just
I
not
always
the
look
muscles.
forward to seeing people's Halloween costume pictures after the fact. If you have a really good one, or you put your kid or your dog in a really good one,
Uh-huh.
I just love seeing them.
Just like the kid's face, just being like,
Just
boom.
like, apparently my nephew wants to be a strawberry, and I just can't wait for that.
Wow, that's cute.
Yeah.
That sounds really cute.
He's gonna fit the part. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
I'm very excited for him.
Well, folks, see if you can beat that. I don't know. That's pretty tough. That's pretty tough to top.
Listen, everybody's got a Monopoly board, so I might be saving somebody a situation where they have their kid coming back in tears and they can put something together. Just what would it be? It would be like the stock market or
My 401k. Something like that.
Oh my God. Ugh. Okay, that'll do it for us today on the DMV Download with that smooth transition. We are
love
brought
those
to you
smooth
by
transitions.
Steam Fitters Local 602, and our music is by Real World.
Give us a review and rate our show if you get the chance. Tell everyone about the show also. You can find us everywhere, social media, online, on the World Wide Web at dmvdownload.com.
And hopefully we'll have some pictures from the museum today that we're sharing on social for you guys.
Uh-huh. The DMV Download is a product of WTOP News. Listen on 103.5 FM in the D.C. area, 107.7 FM in Virginia, 103.9 FM in the 103.9 FM in Frederick, Maryland, online at WTOP.com, and on the WTOP News app. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.